All right, welcome back. This is the SGPN Fantasy Football Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. We're presented to you by WynnBET. WynnBET is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. From boosted same-game parlays to live in-game odds, WynnBET has what you need to win. If you sign up today, you bet $100, you're going to get $100 right back at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET. State restrictions apply. We are continuing our rookie profiles. Again, this is Dave Heilman, a.k.a. Dynasty Dorks, and that is Brad Stickler at FF Bourbon Dude. Please give us a like and subscribe. Today, we're going to talk about Rashee Rice.
Hey, this is an actual different player than what we've talked about really up to this point. This is a dude that is not undersized. He's 6'2", 203 pounds. Hey, we love talking about guys that aren't 170 pounds, right? We got a lot of guys we like there, but we like the good-sized guys also, right? We don't want to discriminate on this show. But look, this dude has been productive for his entire career at SMU. And we're talking about a guy who had a ton of Power 5 offers as well. He turned them all down and went to SMU as a 3-star recruit. He went from 48 catches and 680 yards in 2020 to 64 catches, a little bit less yards per catch for 670 yards in 2021. And then he had his a true breakout season in 2022 where he had 96 catches for 1,355 yards. And this dude's got 24 career touchdowns through the 3 seasons at SMU as well. A couple metrics that really kind of stood out to me when we're looking at this guy. He was 3rd in the nation in yards after the catch in 2022, and he was 2nd in ADOT for any wide receiver that had more than 128 targets, right? You can always find those guys who had 40 targets that are like 35 yards down the field for every catch. Those are the anomalies, not the guys we're talking about here. So 2nd in average depth of target, ADOT, for wide receivers with more than 128 targets. He brings a nice blend of size and speed to the field, and he really does give his quarterback something to throw at, as evidenced by his QBR of 99.9 by any quarterback that targeted him. So, Dave, talk a little bit about his pros, his cons, and your player comp.
Yeah, the first one I start off with is change of direction. He's a very fluid athlete, so there's not a lot of wasted movement when you see him run his routes, when you're seeing him when he catches the ball. He's going straight up field. He knows what to do it. And when he has the ball in his hand, turns into a running back. He's very tough to bring down. He's a big player. And you see where he takes a lot of these underneath routes for big gains. And whenever he gets the ball in his hands, he is he's looking to take it to the house. Strong hands, natural hands. I really felt like watching him play. He had a nice job with contested catches, but a lot of these jump balls, he was just coming down with it. And we'll talk a little bit more about the cons with some of that. With some of the corners you're playing with were just, it was a little unfair. Wingspan, he's got a tall frame, long arms, and he's got a good catch radius. And that's what you're looking for with some of these possession receivers. And I see him as a big possession receiver in the NFL. Cons, speed. He's not going to blow anybody away with his speed. He's not a big receiver. He's just big comparison to the other guys, the Zay Flowers and Nathaniel Dells and all that. But he's not going to blow anybody away with combine with his speed. He's not going to be one of the faster guys in this class. Daniel Jeremiah talked about the receiver group at the about the Senior Bowl, and he was like, none of these guys have juice, and Rashee Rice was in that crowd. Comes from a spread offense, so you're not seeing a lot of the traditional routes, so you're gonna have some limited route tree, also some different concepts he's gonna have to learn. He's gonna have to learn how to sit on zone routes. He's gonna have to deal with man coverage. So you may see a little bit of a slower transition in the NFL if he does not learn how to play against those kind of defenses and develop more as a runner. And that's one of my biggest concerns. And we saw a lot of that with the guy that I comped him to, and it's Zay Jones. Zay Jones absolutely dominated out of East Carolina. I was so excited about Zay Jones. I actually won a bet at the draft about Zay Jones because my buddy did not like him. And I was like, all right, I bet you a beer. He goes in the top 45. He got picked like 43 by the Buffalo Bills. And I was like, all right, give me a beer. And, we know things went off the rails a little bit with Zay Jones a little bit. But he has developed into a very nice receiver in the draft. It just, not in the draft, in the NFL. Just took a couple of years. And again, coming from East Carolina, spread offense, very similar situation. It just took a little while for him to develop as an NFL talent, and we finally are seeing it. With Rashee Rice, I see a lot of the similarities. Quarterbacks loved him. I put on there 99.9 QBR when he was targeted, and receivers when he had a lot of his highlights, you can see where he's like he jumping to get the ball, and I'm like sometimes like you didn't need to do that, but he's always going like this, and he's just like telling the corner, like, you're too small. And I'm like, yeah, it's like Stephen F. Austin. It's not an Alabama corner, it's not an LSU corner. So I like to see what he can do against some bigger corners that match up against them. Separation is not his thing. He's not a big separator.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing that kind of worries me right now. This dude was second in college in targets. I think he had just over 150, but his catch rate was like 60%, right? You talk about the fact his catch rate's not good. He's not creating a bunch of separation from kind of these lower value schools. And now he's going to not only have to learn how to run more routes and a little bit different. He doesn't have the speed to pull away from guys. He's going to have to figure out how to create separation if you're only at a 60% catch rate in college against that lesser competition. So it does worry me a little bit about Rashee Rice, but you do see he's looked good against the lesser competition. He's been able to make it work. So who knows, maybe he can translate that into the NFL with a little bit of coaching as well.
Well, appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next episodes. If you have any players that you want to learn about or any draft questions, please let us know in the comments. As always, good luck.